System, memory is also one of the important thing. See, you require a less amount of memory in the embedded system or embedded device usage. So what are the different types of memories used in the embedded system? This also comes as one separate question. So based on the memories used in the embedded environment or applications. So it's an important part in the embedded system. So why we have to use memory means memory can be used for storing your data or storing your instructions or storing your small codes like that. So you can, your embedded systems can have the built-in memory, on-chip memory will be available. Sometimes you will be having off-chip memory also. So program storage memory. So this is the classification of program memory which can be you can have in the embedded system. So which is used for the purpose of storing the code or the program or data which is used for execution of your embedded system. So you may have code memory, that is ROM, and then you may have PROM, masked ROM, EEPROM, EEPROM, flash, NVROM, so non-volatile RAM, programmable RAM, EEPROM, and then electrically erasable PROM, then flash memory. So depends upon the application. So whatever the application you are using, depending upon the application, you will be making use of the memory. So this is the main classification of the memory available. So you have the first one as masked RAM. So this type of memory are once programmable. So it uses hardwired technology for programming. So it's a factory programmed from the data given by the end user. So whatever the requirement the user would have given, based on that, so this particular masked RAM chip is going to be programmed from the factory, and that will be delivered to the end user. And it is less expensive. It is used for storing embedded softwares or firmware for low cost embedded devices. In the low cost embedded devices, to store the firmware, the software required for that embedded system is stored using masked RAM. Once the design is frozen by the design team, which is given to MRAM fabricator, that is a masked RAM fabricator. So it will be fused or frozen. You will not be able to do anything with that. So firmware upgradation cannot be modified. So sometimes if you want to upgrade the firmware which you have stored using the masked RAM, it cannot be modified, because once the design is done, it is fixed. You will not be allowed to do anything with that masked RAM. So that is one type of memory which will be used in low cost embedded devices for storing the firmware or software which is used for embedded systems. Second time is PROM. So you are aware of this. What is PROM? Programmable RAM. It is not pre-programmed by the manufacturer. So end users are responsible for programming of these devices. If it is programmed already by the PROM programmer according to the given binary pattern, that also you can use, or fuses will be provided which are not burnt. So that will be having the status 1. And which is burnt will be having the status 0. That means which is not burnt will indicate 1, which is burnt, the fuse burnt, which will be having the status 0. So again, it is also used for commercial production of the embedded system, PROM, programmable read-only memory. So as per the user's requirement, it can become, it will come along with a programmed thing, or the end user will be allowed to do the programming on that particular chip. So same way you have erasable programmable read-only memory, EEPROM. So are not useful for development purpose. So here, because it is continuously changing, using this PROM, it will not be economic one. So it stores bit information by using floating gates or of a FET. That is, FETs are going to be used, and then bit information is stored using a EEPROM programmer, which applies high voltage to charge this floating gate. And again, it uses quartz crystal window for erasing stored information. So it comes with erasable option. You'll be using quartz crystal window for erasing the stored information. So it is exposed for ultraviolet violet rays, UV rays, for fixed duration, and the entire memory will be erased. So it takes 20 to 30 minutes to erase the entire memory chip. So same way you have electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. That is using the electrical signals at the byte level, you will be able to erase the chip. So flexibility in reusing the same chip again and again. It gives the option, flexibility option. It can be erased in few milliseconds, but it is of limited capacity. So you will be having very limited capacity in that. So same way you have flash memory. It is the latest ROM technology. So read-only memory technology and most popular ROM technology which is used in embedded system, flash memory. So it combines the EEPROM and high capacity ROMs. So it is going to be organized as a sectors or pages. So it stores the data as array of floating gate FET. Then erasing of data can be done at page levels. So that means whichever the page or the sector you want to erase, only that you can erase. So selectively, you can select the pages, particular pages, and then you can erase only that, not the entire chip. So that comes with flash memory. So that is the latest one available. So same way you have a read-write memory, that is random access memory, RAM. So this is the major part. RAM is the data memory or working memory of the controller, you can say. So RAM is volatile. You know the meaning. What do you mean by volatile? Which is nothing but when the power is turned off, everything is erased. So it's a direct access memory. RAM is a direct access memory. So you're going to categorize this RAM into three things. One is SRAM, DRAM, and NVRAM. So SRAM means static RAM, DRAM means dynamic RAM, NVRAM means non-volatile RAM. So when it comes to the static RAM, it stores the data in the form of voltage. So static RAM, it stores the data in the form of voltage. So again, they are made up of flip-flops. So they are going to be used or made up of flip-flops. Static RAM is faster form of RAMs available. So in the design of this static RAM, you are using 6 transistors. So when you are designing this static RAM, here is a diagram you can see. You are using 6 transistors in the design of this static RAM. So Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, Q5, Q6, all are transistors. So among that 6 transistors, 4 transistors are used for building the latch part of the memory cell. Latch means flip-flop. So flip-flop part of the memory cell. For that, 4 transistors are used. And the 2 transistors are used for controlling access. That means you need to control this particular static RAM, like a word line and bit line. Word line means in each word how many bits are available, whether it is 8-bit or 16-bit, and each bit. So there will be a matrix kind of thing which will be available. So word line and bit line, vertical lines and horizontal lines kind of thing. So to have that control, so you will be using 2 transistors for that. So 6 transistors are used. In that, 4 are used for latch purpose and the other 2 are used for controlling purpose. So SRAM cell representation, it is shown in the diagram. So this implementation in its simplest form can be visualized as 2 cross-coupled inverters with read-write control through the transistors. So it is going to be controlled by the word line, which control access transistors MOSFET Q5 and Q6. So you can see here Q5 and Q6 both are connected to word line. So access transistors control the. So again, same way, the access transistors, that is Q5 and Q6. So now Q5 and Q6 are acting as control transistors. So the control transistors are connected to word line. In the same way, 2 control transistors are connected to bit lines also. Bit lines are represented as B and B bar. So one is represented as B and the other one is represented as B bar. So whenever you want to write to the memory cell, some content or some value you want to write into the memory cell, so you have to apply the desired value to the bit control lines. So these bit control lines will be used for writing or storing some value to the memory or the chip. So what value you can store means either 0 or 1. So these 2 bit lines B and B bar are used for that purpose. So for writing 1, so you want to store 1 in this chip means, so you have to make B equals to 1 and B bar equals to 0. So there are 2 bit lines B and B bar. So if B equals to 1 and B bar equals to 0, you are able to store or write the value 1. So same way for writing the value 0, you have to make B as 0 and B bar as 1. So make the word line high. So always you have to keep your word line high. in order to latch the value. Latch the value means you have to lock that value or store that value. So suppose you want to store the bit value 1, your word line has to be high, and then b equals to 1 and b bar equals to 0. So if these values are applied to these things, and then the value will be latched or stored in that particular position. So this is the way how the static RAM works. So disadvantage of using SRAM is its low capacity and high cost because of usage of the transistors. Maximum number of transistors are used. So 6 transistors are used here for the design of SRAM. So same way you are going to have DRAM, that is dynamic RAM chip, so which stores the data in the form of charge. So here the data is stored in the form of charge. There the data is stored in the form of voltage. So here they are made up of mass transistor gates. So what is the advantage of DRAM means it's high density and low cost. So informations are stored in the form of charges. It gets leaked off with the time and it need to be charged periodically. Because of charges you are using here for storing the information, periodic refreshing is required in the DRAM chip. So it has to be charged periodically. So this is the implementation shown here. You can see data to read is in one part and data to write is in other part. You have a write control, you have a read control. So for storing the information or for retrieving the information. So MOSFETs are used, which acts as a gate for incoming and outgoing data, whereas the capacitor acts as the bit storage unit. So this is the design of the DRAM chip. So when it comes for the differences, SRAM is made up of 6 CMOS transistors. DRAM is made up of MOSFET and capacitor. So SRAM don't require refreshing, but DRAM requires refreshing. So because the charges are going to get leaked, for that reason, periodically DRAM cells need refreshing. So SRAM has got low capacity and DRAM has got high capacity. So SRAM is more expensive and the DRAM is less expensive. SRAM is fast in operation. DRAM is slow in operation due to the refreshing circuit because it has to refresh periodically. So NVRAM is the other kind of RAM available. Non-volatile RAM is a random access memory with battery backup. So you're going to have battery backup with this. It contains static RAM, SRAM cell only. In the absence of your external power supply also, it is going to be working. It uses battery backup. The memory and the battery backup is packed together in a single chip. So it will be used as a non-volatile storage because your RAM or random access memory, we say it as a volatile memory. That means whenever the power is switched off, it is going to lose all the contents. But NVRAM will come with a facility that you have the battery backup kind of thing. So it is called as non-volatile storage. So lifespan of NVRAM is 10 years. So these are the different memory techniques or the chips which are going to be used in the embedded system. So again, depending upon the applications, you can have the choice or you can choose the memory devices, whichever is suitable for that particular application kind of thing. So there are two more concepts here. So memory according to the type of interface. So again, you will be having memory which is going to be accessed or which is going to be interfaced with two techniques. One is serial or the other one is parallel. So either you can have serial interface or you can have the parallel interface. So when it is a parallel interface through the data lines D0 to D7 for 8-bit processors, all the data lines D0 to D7 will be connected at a time. Parallelly, you will be able to access or load the data. So again, you have serial interfaces I2C or SPI. So generally, which is used in EEPROM. So serial memory is expressed in terms of kilobytes and parallel interface also. So Atmel Corporation is an example for serial memory. That's the chip AT24C512 is an example for serial memory.